Instagram Live. Hi, it's Karen. How are you? I thought I would come on today and read you August 15th. It's halfway through the month. August 15th, Courage to Change. I haven't read it yet. I'm reading it for the first time with you. So let's read it and talk about it. August 15th. After living in the chaos of alcoholic relationship, it can be hard to know the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major crisis. Oh boy. Al-Anon's slogan, "How important is it?" helps many of us regain some sense of proportion. When plans fall through, when unexpected bills arrive, when I'm disappointed in someone's response, I can ask myself, how important is this? Most of the time I find that what I might have viewed as a disaster is really insignificant. If I try to keep my attention on this day instead of worrying about possible future consequences, I can take my disappointment or irritation at face value and refuse to dramatize it. Because of this simple slogan, many days that I would have once seen as tragic are now filled with serenity and confidence. Today's reminder. Today, if I encounter an upsetting situation, I will ask myself, how important is it? Before I react, I may find that it's not important enough to sacrifice my serenity. And then there's a little quote here by John Kenneth Galbraith. It is almost as important to know what is not serious as to know what is serious. Well, that's a very good reading for me. How important is it? I don't know. When you are in the disease of alcoholism, whether you're the alcoholic, you're the parent of an alcoholic, your spouse is an alcoholic addict, maybe it's a brother or sister, a parent, everything is Mach 5 hair on fire all the time. I mean, it's like high alert. Remember on Star Trek when the red light would go off, and everyone on the ship, high alert, red alert. That's what happens when you're around alcoholism a lot. Everything is a high alert. And then you start living on this feeling of adrenaline and disaster. Like at any moment, the whole place is going to explode. You know what I mean? It's just this terrible, what's going to happen next kind of feeling. Powerless for sure. And so our reactors get broken. We don't know how to react to things that are real easy, that shouldn't be that big a deal. We overreact, and things that maybe should be really terrible, anybody else would have a fit, we're okay with. It says it talks about it in the big book as well as in Al-Anon, that alcoholism will tend to make people neurotic. Children and loved ones neurotic, and it's true. It's really difficult to get those senses back in order once you start recovering. The best way to do that is to go to meetings, go to Al-Anon and Nar-Anon. Being around other people that are in this Mach 5 hair on fire environment or have been will kind of help you base what's important and what's not. Otherwise, it's really, the fear will throw you into a panic. The powerlessness will, throw you into sheer and utter terror. And so it's good to be around other people so you can kind of have something to gauge, like your reactions to things. And it's good to run things past people. I run past things, past God. I'm a big prayer. I'm a big, God help me, direct my thinking, like what's happening here. I don't know how to react. And my real go-to thing, I think is good for everybody on the planet, is if you don't know how to react, if something happens and you are just like, wow, I don't know. Is this really bad? Is this really... The truth is, and I'll tell you this is the weird thing, is that I think I know everything. I posted something yesterday. I just love that meme. It says, I don't know what it said. It's something about don't respond. You don't know everything. It's so true. I don't know everything. And I want to respond quick. Take action now. I want to help now, right? Everything is like 911, high alert for Karen. And what I've really found has been powerful for me is to stop, pause. Don't respond. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Right? Let's let all the the equilibrium and the whatever in my head balance out from what's just happened. Let me get my footing. Let me get my bearing. And let me ask God, can you direct my thinking here? I'm ready to go into a tailspin. How important is this, right? There's another thing I've learned with alcoholics is you learn to fight your battles. Pick your battles, that you want to fight. You don't have to fight them all. I mean, there's some things that are really important and some things that aren't. And you're just going to have to let the things that aren't, I'll give you an example. This is a great story. When I was running the treatment center, there was this man that came in, and he was a great guy. His name was Chuck. And he came in, he was older, and he came straight from the hospital. He had drank himself right into ICU. And it was just a terrible situation. His wife had contacted me, and they were out of town, and he needed to come. And I said, don't even take him home from the hospital. Just get him right in an Uber and drive him out here. Don't even get him in the car with you, because you're gonna cave. You're gonna stop and get him something to drink. I mean, just because she'd never been to Al-Anon, she didn't know, right? So she's desperate, and he comes to the treatment center and he checks in, and I suggest she goes to Al-Anon. Start getting some help for yourself. And she did. He did really well. He got much better. He went through the steps. He got really, really much better. And it was a secure facility. It wasn't locked in. Nobody's ever locked in. You can't do that in California. But there was this big gate in the front, and I was in the kitchen, and the windows were all open. It was a beautiful day in Palm Springs, and it was visiting day. And he was sitting out by the pool with a bunch of other participants, and she came walking through that gate, right, to visit him, and walked in, and I could hear everything because the window was open. I was standing right there in the window. And she walked in and she looked out at him, and I mean, this guy almost died. It was terrible. He really he'd come in with a wheelchair and then graduated to a walker, and now he's walking and he's in rehab. We're taking him to rehab every day. He's done the steps. He's doing really well. And she comes in and she says to him, "Are you smoking? Are you smoking?" Because he was smoking a cigarette with the guys at the pool. And she started yelling at him, and I thought, oh my God, right? Pick your battles, right? Let's get the guy sober first. Let's just, he's out of ICU. He's going to live. This is like big news, right? He can walk again. The alcoholic, I can't remember what it's called. It's early in the morning. I haven't had all my coffee. But it makes you so your legs don't work. It's a neuropathy, alcoholic neuropathy he had. I mean, so it was really bad. And here he is. He's doing great. He's sober. He's got a couple weeks. And she starts screaming at him about it, cigarettes. And I thought, oh my gosh, pick your battles. That is not what's the most important thing right now. He can always quit smoking later. I mean, this is a big deal. He's sober. So that's what I mean. Is this really important? And you got to ask yourself, is this really important? I mean, yesterday I went to the bank and I lost my mind. I lost my mind at Bank of America. And, did it seem important at the time? Yes, it did seem important at the time. And I think really what it was a pile on of pandemic, all the stuff that's going on in the world. And I don't go out very often. I was trying to help someone else. And Bank of America had reduced their hours. No other bank here has, and there's all these elderly people. It's 120 degrees here yesterday, right? So it's hotter than hell here. And they've got all these elderly and handicapped people on top of everybody else outside waiting in line for these reduced hours. And I just became like Joan of Arc. You know what I mean? I was like Aaron Brockovich. What the hell? Trader Joe's can open an hour early for the elderly. Why can't you? You have all these people's money. Remember, I'm just there as a guest. I'm trying to help someone. Like, how helpful is that? I'm trying to help somebody and who couldn't get to the bank. And I'm there, and now I'm going to lose my mind because of the injustices of the world, right? And I need to realize there's nothing I can do about it. Losing my mind is not going to help. I mean, I finally got in. I was first in line. I got there early. I waited out in the 120 degrees with everybody else. I got in there. The girl was a bitch to me. It was horrible. And I lost my mind. And then I thought to myself, Karen, if you've got a mask on your face, right? So no one can see your face and you've got no personality going. I'm losing my mind in Bank of America. And I had the vision of them coming up and tasing me and knocking me down and putting, handcuffs on me because I'm disorderly in the bank. Because they're not going to put up with shit anymore from people, right? There's just too much going on in the world. And I thought, is this how you're going to go out? Right? Is this what we're going to do here? You're going to be Aaron Brockovich and go to jail because you don't think this is going the way it should be going. There's ways to handle that. I could write a letter, I could call, but losing my mind in the middle of a bank is not okay. And how important is it? In the moment, it seemed very important. Now looking back, not that important because it made me sick. I was sick all day. I mean, I was so upset about it. I was just distraught. My serenity, like it says in that reading, my serenity has got to be worth something. I have to be okay, right? So how important is it? Pick your battles, right? Is that going to be my battle, right? Not the way to handle it. So I need some help. And the best thing I could have done yesterday was not say anything, ask God for some help. Then maybe he would have said, why don't you go home and call corporate? Somebody that can do something. Not this girl who's just doing her best, who's hot too. She's hot, she's tired, she's, whatever. So, do you get my point? How important is it? How important is it? Pick your battles. Ask God for some help and direction. Try to stay in the moment. Because all this alcoholism and addiction, being around it, just makes your reactors you got no good reactors. You don't even know, right? You're just responding. You're just bam, 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 bam. What's next, right? Almost like a superhero, taking down the villain, but sometimes there's not a villain there. We're taking down people. People are getting in the way, and we're taking them down because we are reacting. How important is it? It's a good thought for this weekend. I think I'm going to take that through the whole weekend and just try to take it easy. My mental health is important. My mental health is important. It's very important. It's the only one I have. They don't give refunds. You can't take it in for, a swap it in for something new. I got to take care of this one. I got to take care of my mental health. And I can't take care of anybody else. I can't be helpful to the world if I am a basket case. All right? Have a great weekend. Love you all. Bye.